So I have finally decided to wrap the whole story up. Let's talk full details about the crash on the side of my car and talk about what actually happened.
Such a pretty car. Look at the state of it.
Firstly, if you could smash that like button and subscribe. We're racing to 1,000 subs and we're doing it very fast, so I salute you guys. Thank you so much. Today's show is sponsored by Energy Go. I wish, literally, this is the cheapest energy drink I could get. Best you can have. No, this is the cheapest energy drink I can get. It's 20p. So any energy companies out there, I'm not looking for money, just some free energy drinks. Preferably a small brand like Monster or Red Bull would do. So if you were here from the beginning, you know how unlucky I have been with my car.
Such a pretty car. Look at the state of it.
I shouldn't have taken the vehicle back. I wish I'd have checked the front when we left. There was water all inside the front this morning.
But leaving trim like that, come on.
How is this happening to me? They're denying that I have a leak.
Come on, Tesla.
Obviously, we've got a defective Model 3.
So they've done no work to the Tesla, and now I'm over the 7-day period.
I can understand your position where you can't find that fault, but the evidence is there.
As my first ever nice car that I've ever owned, I have been extremely unlucky, just to say the least. So, the door. Well, this is what happened. I'm going to tell you everything from CCTV to Sentry mode to neighbours to police officers to the insurance company to suspects. We're going to go for it all. Strap in. Here we go. So, I got up at 5 a.m. on this fateful day. I get into the car to go pick my brothers up to go for a workout. Didn't notice. I got in the driver's side, drove all the way to their house, and then my brother got in, noticing the damage, saying, "What the hell has happened to the side of the car?" And this footage is from that morning. As you can see, I'm not impressed. I think I'm the most unlucky Tesla owner. Something bad happened to the car. Come and have a look at this. Parked up last night, got there this morning, and this is how I find my Model 3. Look at that. This one can't be blamed on Tesla. That one was a hit and run. So someone hit the car and drove off in the early hours of the morning. Anyway, that's that. Just bad luck. So I had just gotten over the whole leak debacle. And as you can see, I'm extremely frustrated at this point. So, no note was left on the car. Nobody had left a note to say, hey, this was me, or no note was left on the car. So the first thing I did was immediately I went to check Sentry footage. And I was extremely worried at this point because Sentry mode had been playing up on me. This is when I started to get Sentry mode issues. So I was worried. I was very worried at this point. So I watched every last drop of footage. I probably watched it about 4 or 5 times. And the Sentry footage cuts off at around 11 p.m. Then from 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. in the morning, the footage wouldn't work. No footage was recorded. There was a few minutes before I approached the car, there was a bit of footage, but there was a whole chunk of the night missing on Sentry mode. And I'd actually had this happen a few times on a few nights before, because Sentry Mode was starting to play up on me at this point. This is where all my Sentry Mode issues started. That is sod's law. That is what happens. So it was super frustrating for me at this point. So now I'm even more annoyed. Now I'm even more frustrated. My ticket to find out who'd done it and also to try and get some views on YouTube is gone. If someone's going to hit your car, at least have the video footage that happened. Right, okay, so I'm annoyed at this point. But then it gets worse. It gets worse than that. So I have the phone app I have it set up so it sends you a notification if the car alarm is triggered. And I've had this happen before. So I've thrown a ball at the car recently in one of my recent videos, and the alarm went off. The car alarm went straight off. On this occasion, there was no alarm. So my phone wasn't triggered, and apparently the alarm wasn't triggered, or so I didn't think it was anyway. That's baffling to me. I mean, look at the damage and say that the car alarm didn't go off. So I frantically jump back in the car. I drive back to where I was parked up that night. I drive back down to there. And the reason I park where I parked, I don't park there anymore, but I used to park there. The reason I parked is because it's a dead end and no one goes down there. A friend lives in the building, so I was using their parking space that allowed me to use their parking space. And there was a CCTV camera, which was working because I could see the infrared lights on that spot. That's why I chose to park where I parked. I thought, the CCTV footage, no matter what, even if my Sentry Mode didn't work, the CCTV footage. So I was like, boom. So I drove back, parked in the same spot, made sure that I was under the CCTV camera that night. I was very close to it. So I contact the landlady and ask for the footage of this happening. So at this point, I felt kind of safe that I had some footage of what had happened that night, and I'd be able to identify who had hit the car. So I was kind of happy. I was kind of, it made me feel a lot better. So still that morning, called the police, logged it as a hit and run incident, and called my insurance company, logged it as an accident and having an accident. At which point the insurance company said that it will still use my excess until they find out who did it. It goes down on my insurance. It goes as my excess, and my excess was £850. So that I know is kind of high excess for an insurance. I've never had an accident before in my car. I've never crashed into anybody. And I've got scratch insurance in case someone vandalized the car. And I kind of thought I was safe. Like I was like, I'm never going to crash it, so that's not a problem. And if someone scratches it or scratches it a little bit, I've got scratch insurance, so that'll fix the scratch. So I didn't expect this to happen. Hindsight's 2020. In the future, I probably will have a small excess. Luckily, my year's no claims bonus, I've got around 7 years of no claims. That's protected. So yeah, my insurance premiums will go up next year. I'm hoping it's not 40%, but it could be. So all said and done, if you was to take the excess that I'm going to have over the next few years and the £850 to pay in excess to get the work done to the car, I think we're looking at about £1,500 to £2,000 that I'm going to be out of pocket. £1,500 to £2,000 I'm going to be out of pocket. Yep. That was a bit of a shot in the heart. I did not want to hear that. So at this point, my mission is to find out who did this. If I can find out who did this, then I save the money. And that is the goal. So still the morning of the accident, I am actually, ironically, supposed to be driving down to the service centre. So what I did, I drive down to the service centre, and I'm embarrassed because I tell them that I look after the car. With all the issues that we're having, I've had a conversation. I'm like, yeah, no, you don't understand. I really look after this car. It's like my prized possession. And then I turn up with this mark down the side of the car, and they probably think I'm a liar. First things first is I speak to an engineer. We're talking about the initial problems, but I say, look, this happened last night. Somebody hit the car. I said, should the alarm have gone off? And he said, yes, that should have triggered the alarm. It could be a case that the phone app just didn't notify you and there was something faulty with your phone notifications or the app. So I thought, okay, cool. So the alarm did go off. But this is where I feel a little bit let down by Tesla. Now, I know that this isn't their fault. I don't think they sent someone out in the middle of the night to come crash into the car. Well, I hope not anyway. And they didn't, obviously. But this is where I feel let down by them because, and it's definitely not their fault. It's not Tesla's fault. But I have since learned that if your car alarm is triggered, Sentry Mode will record the footage and it will back up the footage for 72 hours in Tesla's cloud, which I think is a great idea. But how come nobody, I mean, I spoke to quite a few people that day about the mark on the side of the car. Nobody at the service center knew this or says, why don't we try this? That was kind of frustrating. Now, I know I take responsibility on this anyway. I should have known that too. Like, I should have known that it saves it for 72 hours. It's just things like that would tie it up as a car company where I'd be like, yeah, they had my back. They got my back on that one. Thank you so much. By the time I'd figured out that it saves the footage up to 72 hours, it had been weeks. So it didn't really matter that much at that point. One of the reasons we purchased this car is to stop this happening to us. And here we are. So yeah, I contacted the landlady of the building, requesting the CCTV footage, explained everything that had happened to the car. And I didn't hear anything back for well over a week at that point. So I was already worried at this point. So then, exactly 1 week after the accident, exactly to the day, 1 week after the accident, I saw a car parked right up next to where the accident happened. And this is suspect number 1. And I'm going to put some pictures up. But firstly, what I want to do is draw you a little diagram of the road so you can sort of get an idea of what had happened that day. I'm going to draw the road and explain to you what happened that night. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to do it fully detailed, but you know, this is pretty much all you need to know. I'm hoping you can see this. So this road down here is the main road. That's the main road. That is just a standard main road, kind of busy. So off the main road, it's a private road. So this road's a private road. It's a very small private road. And I live down here. At the end of the private road is a dead end. There's no through access. So you can't drive through here for no reason, right? And there's no need for anybody off this main road who doesn't live here or isn't delivering something to these buildings to drive on this road. It's very small. I'm talking 30, 40 foot worth of road maybe. It's a very small road. And in total, on this private road here, you could probably at max park 10 to 15 cars at a push, right? So then on this private road, these are all like houses along here, residents. Like I live in one of these houses. And there's also a building with multiple occupants, which is an apartment building. This is where my friend lives, and this is one of the spots that I was using. So this building here, this big building, that has 5 parking spaces up front of that building, and also has a couple around the back of the building as well. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just drawing the front. So these are the 5 spots up front. You can't access these 5 spaces from the main road. You have to drive onto the private road and then use a little access onto these 5 spots here. This is where I parked. I parked in spot number 4 right here. Spot number 1 is occupied by a beaten up non-runner Ford Fiesta. So it's a non-runner. It's been there for ages. It's got weeds growing in it. That's spot number 1. Spot number 5 is accessed by a black Ford Focus. And the Ford Focus was parked there that night. The damage doesn't match a Ford Focus, so that's not my suspects. So as you can see, the CCTV camera of the building is pointing right at the Tesla. So this is where I was parked, right here. This is what I suspect happened that night. Somebody was either going into this building and they were visiting this building, or they were delivering something, and they drove up here because the front door to this building is here where the camera is, right? So they drove up to here. They got stuck around here, tried to turn around, very tight space to turn around, went into the side of the Tesla, and then drove off. That's what I suspect. So let's jump back to that week after the accident happened, and let me show you exactly where that suspect number 1 was parked. And now you've got an idea of this. it will make a bit more sense to you. On private road, this car here, that day there was also like one or two other cars parked there, but they were regulars. I'd seen them before. This one right here was parked on private road, opposite the small car park to this building. So it was very close. And although it's hard to gauge scale, it's about 15 foot away from each other. They're not that far away from each other. Here is suspect number one. Let's go have a look at it. So I took all these photos of suspect number one. I'm going to blur the license plate out because there's a chance that this isn't the person. I'd love your opinions on this, guys. So I saw the car and I thought, wow, they've got damage on their rear end, exactly where I would expect the damage to be for how I had it on my car. So it's exactly how I think if they got trapped up in that little corner, if they turned around, that's where the damage would be. So you can see the scratch marks on their car in the rear side, the driver's side bumper. And this is a week after, so they've probably had some time to clean up as much as possible. But to me, that's there's some white marks there as well still. Okay, so the car's black, and the mark on my car is black as well. So it's like a black paint. There's a small mark on my car as well that's red, and the brake lights on this car match up with where you'd expect the red transfer to be. It's a very small red transfer, smear of red transfer, but it's exactly where you'd expect it to be. So what I did was, I'm here, I'm not bothered. So I drove the car right next to it. I mean, I lined it up as if I had the police next to me and was trying to go, right, if the shoe fits. I mean, if they don't match up, if those marks don't match up, the headlight matches exactly, the brake light matches exactly where the brake light should be. The scratches match exactly where the scratches should be. And I thought, I can't approach this person. I can't accuse this person of this. I don't even know whose car it is. And that's sort of became the end of it. I'd love to know if a police officer or someone who was like in this kind of sector would go, yeah, that's definitely the car, blah, blah, blah. To me, it just matches nearly to perfection. Because of this, I gave these photos to the insurance company. So I passed this to the insurance company. I have not seen this car since that day. Again, I do not have hard evidence that that's the truth and that is what happened, but in my opinion, that's what's happened. It's all too coincidental, don't you think? I passed it on to the insurance company. They're gonna handle it themselves. They've got their own experts who look into this sort of thing. But that just because I've got a photo of it doesn't mean anything, apparently. This is what's frustrating. I then received a phone call from the police. This was like a week or so later, and this is that call. Hi there. I just wanted to update a car accident. I've not. Sorry, I've just been trying to find it, and I can't find it. Is there any other information I could give you?
When did the accident take place?
It took place on. Let me give you the specific date. 12th of March. So basically, there's where the accident happened, or where the person crashed into the car. There was a CCTV camera, and at the moment, I'm really struggling to get in contact with the landlord of that address to get that CCTV, and I was wondering if, first of all, if there's anything you could do about that.
Do you know what the address is that you're trying to access?
Yes.
So what I can do is I can send through an email to the officer that's dealing with this and ask them to contact you. What's the best number to call you on?
Okay, yeah. And sorry, also I had a few days later there was a car parked outside that address that. The marks match perfectly on the vehicle, and they've got the same marks on the side of their car where I'd expect them to be. I've got photos of of their vehicle and the damage on the side of their car and all that sort of stuff. Is there anywhere I could send them through to?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. What's the registration of that vehicle?
That vehicle is.
So I'll update that information as well, and we should be able to have a look at that and have a look into that and find out who the owner is of that and whether it is there. But with regards to the photographs, I'll say that you've got photographs as well, and the damage looks similar.
Yeah.
Parked outside the place.
It was parked outside that house. Yeah.
I'll pass that information on then and ask someone to give you a call on the number you've given me.
All right. Thank you very much.
Latest on
Sorry, I did have a voicemail just asking. So I also updated again about I gave a registration for a car that was parked outside about 3 days later that has it matches with the scratches, and they've got marks down the side of their car where it would be, and that it's the right paint colour.
Right, I can't see anyone down as dealing at the moment. So what I will actually do, I'll update the incident to that effect.
Okay.
Yeah, when an officer's allocated to actually deal with it, then they can contact you and you can email the photo to them, alright?
Alright, thank you very much.
Right, we'll update it to that effect. Alright then, Jordan.
Alright.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Slightly annoying because I think there's some sort of miscommunication, because I definitely had a call off an officer, but for some reason they rang off an unknown number, and also it didn't show up on my phone. Right, okay.
It wouldn't be something that the police would investigate.
Right.
It would fall down to your insurance company for them to do the investigation. If you've got details of the car, send it through to your insurance company.
Right, okay.
And they'll manage it and deal with it from there. Without CCTV, you kind of up the creek without a paddle a bit, to be fair.
Yeah.
But if the damage does match, the insurance company hopefully will do due diligence and have a look into it.
So I was really frustrated at this point. I was really frustrated. Again, for me, it's the knowledge that there's CCTV footage on that building. If they just got hold of that CCTV footage, they would find out who did it. Fact. Just to add salt to the wounds, the landlady's just ignoring all my messages, or ignoring all my friends' messages who lives at the property. So then I received a phone call from the insurance company. Another bit of salt sprinkled in the wounds. They said that their body shop will not repair the car. They won't work on Teslas. I need to go out and find my own body shop to do that, apparently. So I found one, and I'm super excited to share this part of the journey with you, although it's not happened yet. I found a company called Shorade in Birmingham. They're Tesla approved, and I went down to their facility to have the car assessed, and it looks amazing. It's like a state-of-the-art facility. There's Lamborghinis, there's Teslas down there, there's Ferraris down there, and it's amazing. I was a little bit worried that my insurance company wouldn't approve work by Shorade, but they did. The car company that was going to do the work before were going to repair the door. So they were going to fill it, pull it out, the panels out, fill it and respray it, maybe repair the handle. I wasn't too happy about this because I want factory finish. So Shorade come along and he assesses the vehicle. He goes, right, okay, yeah. So you need a full door replacement, new door handle. You need the front panel of the car on the passenger side spraying. You need the new door spraying, and you need the rear quarter panel, passenger side spraying also. So full respray basically down the whole side of the car. I'm super excited. That's exactly how I want the car to be repaired. It's like it's brand new again, brand new door, brand new handle. That's what I'm talking about. If you've had anything happen to your Tesla, do not use the recommended insurance company body shop. So at this point, I'm at my wit's end. Posted the video on YouTube, and somebody commented, and they said this. They said, so if you were the guy who commented this, thank you. He said, if you didn't have bad luck, you would have no luck at all. And that sort of made me smile a little bit. And the support on the videos and everything was like my silver lining to this whole thing. And at this point, genuinely, this is the truth. We was considering getting rid of the Tesla, was going to get it repaired and sell it. I just felt like it had a bad omen on it. I just felt like the car was cursed. Now I've changed, obviously I don't feel like that anymore. And then the support from the community, the fact that we're now hit 500 subs, it's amazing. And you guys are really supportive of this whole thing we're trying to do. Okay, so at this point, I'm basically out of options. So I hatched a plan. And I called this plan Hail Mary plan.
Okay, so dear resident Marona, on the 13th of March I discovered my vehicle had been hit by another car and no note or explanation was left. The car was parked in front. Since then I have not been contacted or approached by anyone to explain. The incident happened in the time window of the 12th of March 21, 9 o'clock to the 13th of March 6 a.m. Our in-vehicle CCTV confirmed this window. It is a 9-hour window. I'm appealing to the residents further CCTV. I know many of those residents have operated CCTV, ring doorbells and other security, and any information on who visited that night will further aid the Nottinghamshire Police in the hit and run incident. Any eyewitness statements will be taken seriously if you noticed anything that night. The police and the insurance company have strong CCTV leads to go on at the moment, but any further information will help. Currently, 2 more local businesses are in the process of releasing their footage. I appreciate and understand that at the moment personal contact is not sensible. This is why I've sent these letters through the post, and I have set up an email so you can forward CCTV footage to any information. So I'm going to add an email here. Or anything you notice that night. That's been sent out to all the addresses. Local area. I want to offer £100 reward to anyone who provides footage that leads to conviction. If you know or were the person who hit the car, you will know if you did it. I want to give you this chance to come forward now. At the moment, the police are investigating this, and it has been treated as a hit and run incident, which I believe can lead to you losing your license and over a £5,000 fine. Please look into this further, as consequences may be worse, i.e. contacting your employer if you work in a driving job. I want to give you until the 30th of April to come forward. If you come forward beforehand, I will not seek criminal charges in return for your good faith. You will need to cover the cost of repairs using your car insurance. To come forward, you will need to contact your insurance to let them know that you were at fault and email your details to me. If you know that there's police investigation, then the opportunity to come forward is only limited at the stated date. I will not under any circumstances hold off the police investigation after this date. I feel this is fair and reasonable. Reward will be sent through PayPal. Please look at the details. Thank you.
So just before this camera runs out, I feel like stating all the facts about the police and all that sort of stuff could quite easily spark fear in whoever did it and feel like we're closing in on them, and think instead of getting done for hit and run, why not just pay the insurance premium that it's going to cost me? I don't know. Hopefully it'll work.
So I did receive an email back from this letter. Hi there, I'm sorry to hear about the incident and I received the letter. I live in... I don't own a car, I'm afraid, and I don't recall hearing anything that night, but I have sent a copy of the letter to our building landlord to see if she could help with the CCTV. Best wishes from this person. So I was really happy that someone responded. I'm really happy that there's another person who's contacted the landlord now. So that's 2 of the building's occupants have contacted the landlord. And I messaged them back a few days later and I says, hi there, do you have contact details for landlord? I was like, I'm going to ring this person. Like, please, like, I just want to ring this person. And they didn't give me the details. And that's fair enough. It's got nothing to do with this person who's emailed me. Thank you so much for getting back in touch with me. So it was a Hail Mary. It was a Hail Mary. And I didn't think it had loads of chance of happening, but there you go. It didn't work. So is that it? Is that where it ends? For me, yes. I have now put this to bed. I want to put this past me. I want to get rid of this bad vibes and bad energy I have, because I love this company. I love Tesla. And I've told you that I'm going to be honest and open about it all. But this one I have control over. This isn't Tesla's fault per se. It's some random person hit the car. And I want to put it back past me. I don't want to carry on going about crap stuff. So, I want to start talking about all the good stuff. If they hadn't driven off and they just came forward, it would have been so much simpler for me. If somebody comes forward, great. If the police find who did it, great. If they decide to look into it, great. If the landlady comes forward with that CCTV footage, which is a very good chance that could happen, great. It's fantastic. But I'm not counting on it. The reason I didn't make this video straight away is I didn't want the person who had done it to see the video. I know it's silly because they'll probably never see the video, but I didn't want the person who had done it to see the video and go, oh, they've not got the Sentry Mode footage. Well, I've got away with it basically then. I really am interested. What are your opinions on the suspect? Is that the car? Anyway, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. What's your suspicions? Am I off? Tell me if I'm off. If I'm off on suspect 1, tell me. I'd love to know. Massive shout out to the supporters of the channel. Lewis, Michael, Marcel, thank you so much for using the referral link to buy Teslas. I do appreciate the support. If you're thinking about buying a Tesla, use the link in the description. Don't worry, you won't be as unlucky as me. And you start your journey with 1,000 free supercharging miles, and I get 1,000 free supercharging miles, and I do appreciate it very much. Thanks for watching. As always, you guys have been wonderful. This was a long video, so if you stuck up to this point, throw me a comment down below. You guys are the crazy cats, and I appreciate it. I will see you in the next one.